This is the first of a series of videos that I'm making where we look in depth at each of the planets and we take a perspective, helpfully using the Elven Star to find 6 different dimensions of expression of the planet. Typically, we consider the planetary meaning as associated with how we operate within the world using that planet. And yet there are 7 different things going on at any point in time. This is the deepest wisdom in Sufism. And it's also within Buddhism and other features of spiritual progression. We look at 7 different ways in which Saturn operates. So the first point of your Saturn, if you've got Saturn in your chart at a certain point, then you could look at the Sabian symbol of that point. With the Elven Star that we're studying here, you look at that symbol and then 6 other ones, each representing a septile away from the previous. So you've got 7 different septile points. And this gives a much richer, deeper, more nuanced sense of the meaning. So we're looking at Saturn today. And the fundamental mystery of Saturn is the social contract. In other words, individually, we and collectively, society have this implied contract. If we behave like this, society will behave like that towards us. And if society is fair and applies justice and protection to us, then we honor that obligation and behave according to the principles of morality and law and common practice to some extent. So the first mystery that we're looking at is the mystery of the earth plane, just everyday and ordinary things that people do to stay afloat, to stay alive. From our first breath, when we ourselves start to become responsible for maintenance of the physical body, we have to come to terms with our involvement with others. This is a stern lesson, which to learn fully takes at least 29 years and probably a lifetime. We must not only respect the wishes of others, we also have to resist any attempt they might make to disrespect our own requirements. To do so means that we must become clear about what these needs are and rather firmly claim authority to respond to them, especially by the development of a mature and seriously influential atmosphere of being. This claim goes hand in glove with our duties to add support to build and maintain an effective, sustainable community, which often means aligning with strangers with whom we have no empathy or rapport. So we're getting to the subtleties here, that which gives rise to the keywords that we may have studied for Saturn. The subtlety is that we got to take responsibility for ourselves, and we've got to take some responsibility for our involvement with the community that supports us. And when we get to the second Elven Star point, it relates more to reaching out and involvement with learning stuff from other people, meeting other people. The manner in which we transact will not be tolerated unless it closely conforms with the particular code of behavior that defines our set. When significant differences arise, tensions are likely, and we then have to explain our point of view, and of course also listen to the other person explain theirs. Reconciling 2 different viewpoints inevitably requires negotiation, compromise, and tolerance, and yet emphatically must never lead to our self-betrayal. If there is no common ground to be found, then we must part ways and find a more suitable community setting that accommodates our authentic expression of self. So we're being told how to behave by our community, and yet we want to have a say in that, and so negotiation, compromise arises. And let's remember that the community that we choose to be in typically is a subset of the wider mainstream. We might not relate to the mainstream at all, and yet have a community of kindred spirits who share the same distaste for the mainstream that we do. But that is our community, and there will be requirements upon us within that community. Now we get to the third level, which is to do with feelings rather more. It's all to do with Saturn. Parenting, primarily, and schooling, secondarily, notwithstanding their other functions, are the principal agencies of social training, and both love and education are sometimes given a hard edge. Having stern parents can make us colder and less affectionate later in life, and officious teachers leech the joy out of learning. However, often grandparents have had the time and experiences to become wise enough to show us by example how to be both kind and disciplined, modest yet well-boundaried. So the aspect of Saturn that we learn through parenting and at school tends to be more training us in self-discipline. And that's because we've not grown up with enough early discipline to get it right. And so we need more training in that. And it's only the wisdom of age and experience that grandparents can have that really shows how to learn this self-discipline without losing softness. Now, Saturn is not only to do with the social contract, it's also to do with responsibility, the ability to respond. And in some situations, we can take care of a situation that other people can't handle. Therefore, it's our responsibility. It's not more subtle than that. If we can, then we should. Following this long training period, we choose to take on scenarios and projects, not only to serve, but also in order slowly to develop maturity and even gravitas by extending our depth of authenticity and range of character attributes. This typically includes commitments sincerely made within the structure of our career, plus various tasks of stewardship over possessions and shared activities, and also to a partner and children as we build our own family. So we're starting to grow up now, taking responsibilities for other people and other things. And this requires us to make a commitment. And that challenges most of us because we've not been required to do that until the crisis point in our life, the turning point, where unless we make a commitment, we can't go forward, like a marriage or a career definition or something of that nature, buying a first house. Now, Saturn also has a visionary aspect, and we're studying that in the fifth point that I'm making here. Some people can be trusted to hold to contracts and vows. These people tend to end up in positions of high authority. They are a small minority who finish what they start and almost always keep their word, whatever the cost. This quality transfers into the ability to project authority, to determine what will be done, and therefore to make manifest what they choose to have happen. So whenever we're talking about vision, usually we're kind of talking about imagination and looking at the future through an idealized pair of glasses. Now, here what we're saying in Saturn's viewpoint, look, if you want that to be made manifest, then somebody has to project authority. Nothing really happens unless somebody's saying, this will be. And Saturn is that voice when it's approaching visions of the future. However, of course, there's always feedback that what you imagine might happen isn't always right, doesn't always work. And this is where we come to the next point. Saturn types, therefore, become officers with positions that influence social policies and supervise the application of justice, law, and order, imposing penalties and giving definition and voice to the otherwise unspoken general social conscience. Now, this aspect of Saturn is much discussed, the finger wagging authority figure that usually is someone else doing that to us. Well, that's only necessary if we don't develop sufficient self-discipline to become the authority figure. And then we have a role to play in service of the society that we are attached to, and that is to insist that the terms of reference we require as a community group are attended to, or else. And that might become our job if we rise in the development of Saturn energy. Now, the seventh point, the last kind of aspect that we're studying, is called reflection. And this is an aspect of Saturn where we learn by experience, but that's not enough. You can't just experience something and think that then you know. You have to reflect upon that. Think about what you've learned, make a decision to change your ways. And this is Saturn. Paradoxically, and perhaps ironically, because of the corrupting power of position, power possessors tend to be swayed into the abuse of authority. They relax their self-discipline whilst overdoing the imposition of control upon others. The more advanced spiritual type will be more capable of fairness and humility, and possibly withdraw more into solitude in order to reflect upon the control and reduction of their self-indulgences in pleasures, laziness, and and silliness, which they enjoyed in youth. Eventually, they take up the important social roles of advisor, elder, and even perhaps in time as sage. So you can see at this higher level of Saturn consciousness, when we've really worked it out, then we become an advisor to the community, the elder. However, most people don't. They become the bully, the abuser of power, the stern authority figure that applies discipline to everyone else, but not themselves, which is prevalent in our society. So what we have with this overview of Saturn is that there are 7 different styles of approaching Saturn. And according to what you're meeting, whether it's physicality or the social game that we play, or in family situations or with loved ones where you have to soften it, or in business contracts and the application of a higher degree of commitment, then we need to be firmer on Saturn and so on. So there are different levels of expression of Saturn. Anyway, I'll post this text online on my blog. So if you want to read it through, you can go to my website and see masterclass topics there. Thanks for listening.